All right, good morning, y'all. Happy Tuesday. So today we're gonna actually, I'm just gonna show you how to start putting this skin on, which is just tissue paper and paper mache glue. Before you begin, and this is just a start, this is like, you probably needs a few more layers on the inside and the outside, depending on whether you want this thing to be like an enclosed lamp kind of structure, or if you want it just to be like a cool sculpture that you would just kind of hang. So we have paper mache paste that's already been pre-mixed for you. I may need help mixing that eventually, but for now I'm mixing it for you. Scissors, tissue paper, a brush. That's basically all you need. Maybe two different kinds of brushes, like a thick and a thin. So I'm gonna just start by putting it on this little part right here. Okay, so I'm gonna just use the brush to actually apply glue or paste rather on both sides of this reed. And it looks like I could have actually tightened this down a little bit. Make sure that if you are make sure that you tighten everything down so there's not a lot of movement. It'll definitely make it easier for you. Also make sure that you trim things down. You can use a hot glue gun, just be really careful because it does get super hot, and you should wear gloves and you should keep it on the low setting, because I gotta tell you, I don't know how many times I've burned myself and it is no fun. So what I do here is I'll use the lid of this, and I'll basically put a little bit, like I'll paint some down on the inside, and then I'll paint some more on the outside. It doesn't have to be cut perfectly to the size, but it should be pretty close, because once you get it like super saturated on both sides, and it should look like it's saturated on both sides, like right here, it's not. So I'm gonna put a little bit more right there. Now the edges are not saturated, but that's okay, because I'm not gonna use those. I'm gonna end up cutting those off. So very carefully pull it off, and you got this. And then what you're gonna do is just put it right over top of the area, in which you want to cover. And then what I like to do, I'm doing this in midair, so it's a little harder than what I would do on my own, is just start to wrap it around. Now you want to pull it kind of tight, okay? And this is, like I said, it takes patience. Patience, you know, art takes patience. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not gonna take forever, but it's definitely gonna take you some time, and you're definitely gonna need to put several layers on. Now I have this, and there's a lot of overhanging stuff. So I can actually just kind of tear it. I could just tear that off where I don't want it, and then turn it under so it's fitting there. I'm just gonna keep tearing and turning under. And yes, it does get messy. You might want to have some baby wipes nearby if this bothers you a lot. You may also, I could try to get some plastic gloves for you, although I think it's better to actually feel everything. And there's the first coat. Now I want it to kind of pop out, but it might just, you really should just let it dry. So then you're gonna move on to the next one. The problem you're gonna find out, guys, is the larger the area, the much more challenging it is going to be to cover. And so you may find that it might be a good idea to come back and just make a couple more ribs on there and, you know, make it a little easier to cover. Also be selective. It looks cool if you don't do everything. It's also less work. But if you want it to be like a lamp and you want to be able to light it up, then I suggest you enclose the entire thing, and you're gonna have to skin that whole thing. But it is well worth it because it's absolutely exquisite when you do that. All right, so patience, light kinds of covering. Use the lid. Once again, use the lid. So let's say I wanna do another area. I would put a little glue on the inside, paint that lid. I have a bunch of these. You may have to share with someone next to you, so you may want to get, like, you know, work on a buddy system where you kind of take turns using the material, and then paint it until it's super saturated, and you can tell because it's not saturated on the edges. And then you just put it right where you want it. So I'll just go right over top of where I just was. Although I think it's best to do one layer at a time. So But what I have here is just, I have it sitting right on top, and then I can pull it off and wrap it behind. And like I said, it is definitely messy, but it is fun. It's kind of meditative. Once you get into it, it's kind of fun. You can cut it with scissors if that makes it easier for you. You can actually kind of pre-measure it so that it's a little bit, you know, more closer to fit. And I can show you how to do that. Actually, it's pretty easy. You can just put the paper right on top of the area in which you want to cover, and then very lightly outline that shape. And like a pen, actually a Sharpie marker would probably be best, but make sure it's larger than the actual shape so that you can then wrap it around. Okay, best of luck to you all. I can't wait to see how you do.